Lose one time at band camp? I stuck a Zeta up my... pocket. I stuck a Zeta up my pocket. Where else would I even fit a Zeta, folks? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zereth Prevails. We're going to rank all of the Galactic Legend Zetas today because they're important, and we just got those bundles. Maybe we'll have some more soon, who knows, but we're going to rank all the Galactic Legend Zetas plus Jedi Cal, so just tell you the order in which you should apply your Zetas and which ones are important and kind of what makes each of these teams tick. Also, a few of the other notable important Zetas that are going to go alongside those characters, just like Jedi training Rey might want a Zeta or two, etc. So let's do that. It'll be great. It'll be the most fun any of us have ever had, which will be very depressing because how can we let that happen? I do want to say thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for the support, guys. Truly appreciate everything you guys do. And remember, folks, if you want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Melt the algorithm for once. Just every once in a while, guys. It's a good time. Now, let's look at my infographic. You can find this linked in the video description on my Discord server. You can get it for free. You can go give it to your guild or whatever. You can look like a genius and say, when people say, hey, what's the next Zeta I should apply? You can say, oh man, I have this awesome infographic. This thing took me forever to make, guys. I hope that it helps. It's a work in progress. We'll hopefully expand on it even more. But you can see, find it in my Discord server in the channel called Infographics. It's a good time, kind of, I think, as far as I know. Like you can see a slightly more zoomed in version of it here, and then maybe we can just go to this. Whoa, what have I done? There we go. So I was going to show you. We're going to talk about these slides. We're gonna talk about all these different characters and what makes the Galactic Legend tick and how everything works. But the problem is, it's kind of distracting with Cal Kestis' rugged good looks just totally getting in the way. And so instead, we're just going to cut his good looks out and you'll just be stuck with mine. And I'm sure you'll all be just fine with that. So the thing about Galactic Legends, folks, is what makes them tick. Like, you have to figure out what makes them able to operate while still, not having every single thing. And you're going to want to apply as many Zetas as you can because most of them are very, very strong. And even the ones that are a little bit weak, you have to remember it's on a Galactic Legend, which they have way higher stats than other characters, and they're characters that you're going to use in all the game modes, in all the different situations that you're going to be able to function in the game. Like, Galactic Legends are very important, and so you're gonna want all of their Zetas eventually. The question is, what order can you put them in? So Rey, you really want that leadership. Among other things, I'm gonna try to distill down each of these abilities just a little bit so that you can understand a little bit of my reasoning here. And of course, guys, I'm not the sole arbiter of truth. I would love to hear your thoughts on, what the prioritization should be. So leadership, that's the one that lets her give damage immunity to her team, which is really important. She keeps everyone alive. That's very, very important. Sudden Whirlwind, that unlocks her Whirlwind ability, essentially. That's the one that it makes her Whirlwind do more than twice the damage it normally would do, and that's an extremely important tool for Rey. Galactic Legend, now this is one that all of the different Galactic Legends have, and this is just as you increase their relic levels, they get more health and protection, and this is going to be number 3 on every single one of them. Maybe it should be a little higher on a couple, maybe not, but one way or another, it is vital. Once you get your character up to relics, you need this one. It is very important. Now, Lifeblood is another one that's pretty good. The thing is, you can still put Lifeblood on people. It's just not an ability. And the ability, of course, does extra damage to people, lets the character do extra damage. So that's pretty good. You really do want that one. And then Manifest Inspiration. That's the one that makes it so that you can't lose turn meter. I mean, still want it, but you can probably function with just 3 Zetas for the most part with her. And then her basic just has to hit a couple times, which is nice. It's not absolutely vital, though. And then, so Jedi Training Rey, you probably want her lead just for the unlock missions, is what I've experienced. I don't know for sure. I haven't made the guide yet, so we'll take a closer look on that. But otherwise, her unique one, it's the one where she doesn't get debuffed, is really good. And then Ben Solo, of course, he wants all of his Zetas. The one that's extremely vital is going to be the Force Dyad one. Now, let's talk about the next one, shall we? We've got Jedi Master Luke. What makes him tick? So his leadership, that's the thing that gives everyone what I like to call the mini savior, and so once they go below health, then the thing is it keeps everyone safe, because he's a tank, he's pre-taunting for the most part if you're using all Jedi, and you want that you want him to keep everyone safe, so he taunts immediately once someone goes under 100% health and they heal a bunch. I mean, it's pretty important. And then Jedi Legacy is the one that actually it's only for him, but it gives him the secret training and it lets him target who he wants. Now, it's vital to do that, because a lot of the times you're facing people who have a taunt that you need to get past to be able to call an assist against, to be able to do stuff, and to have him be able to do that the whole time is very, very strong. Galactic Legend, obviously you want to keep him strong, and then they grow beyond, that's his mind trick one. That one is also really, really strong. It's just not quite as strong as the other ones. And then Efflux, it does... that's the one that gives everyone turn meter, and that's something I would be amenable to potentially putting it a little bit higher on the hierarchy, because it does give his team 15% turn meter if they're Jedi, but you're already without Efflux, you're able to reduce turn meter on a lot of different people, and hopefully that's enough. I mean, you really don't want to wait long for Efflux either. All of his Zetas are very strong, except for his basic, which, I mean, I say that it's good. You could probably, I mean, it's fine. It is good. You can't get countered on his basic, and it'll always crit if they don't have crit damage immunity. For a Zeta, it's not the very best, but I mean, coming from a Galactic Legend who does hit fairly hard, even that is kind of nice. Now, Jedi Master Kenobi, he's got a lot of tricky things. Now, what kind of things make him tick? Like, that's always the question. What makes him really strong? And so his leadership, of course, that's the thing that gives him savior. It's not just mini savior, it's actual savior. And the thing you have to keep in mind about Jedi Master Kenobi is a lot of times he is going to be, he's basically like a Galactic Legend that takes 2 slots, because he needs Commander Ahsoka Tano on his team. The other ones, the rest of his team, kind of debatable, but Cat was built specifically for him, and that's no guarantee that it's going to be a huge success with him, but in this case they nailed it to the point where it's very difficult to remove Cat from Jedi Master Kenobi. Some people are starting to do it a little bit, getting a little more adventurous, but for the most part, he doesn't work without Commander Ahsoka Tano. So the second ability here, Hello There, that's the one that resets the cooldowns on characters, and so Cat always starts with her Force Leap, that's her instant kill move. She always starts with it on 7 or 8 cooldown. If he goes first, he just hands that turn to Cat and makes her damage immune, so nothing can happen to her. And she's usually pretty fast, so she goes next, and she can remove one character from the board, which is obviously a really nice advantage to have. And I mean, even though there's some protections against it on certain teams and characters, it is just still very, very strong. And so the Hello There is the one that just resets her cooldowns. It's a good one to have. Galactic Legend, obviously you want to be a tanky mother with this, or he's father, maybe he's going to be a father, who knows. May the Force be with you. Hold on. Alright, that's just the one that lets people take extra attacks. And I mean, it's nice. That's one of the hallmarks of what he does is everyone is assisting all the time, and that's really good for your ultimate because everyone wants to be doing basics to add to that ultimate so he can pop it as much as he can. And then I will do what I must. This one is actually, it's growing on me more and more. This is the one that lets him ramp his big hit with damage immunity. Every time he hits with it, he does another 50% extra damage, stacking up to 500% damage. He becomes a monster. He starts hitting really hard. And then the one that you can kind of just skip forever in some ways, I mean, he's a Galactic Legend. I've gotten use out of it for sure. It's on his basic. It's just a ton of conditionals. If he's using a basic and it's against a dark side character, then you can cause ability block if it's on his turn. And that's great. Cool, good for him. Except most of the time he's trying to fight Galactic Legends, and half the time that doesn't work because if he's fighting a light side Galactic Legend, it doesn't apply. Now, Kat, she really wants her own path in Force Leap. She can't operate without it. One of them is you can't remove people from play if it happens. The other one is she gives an enormous stab boost to everyone, and if you don't get that stab boost, then why are you taking Kat? And then Xian is also really good because it gives an extra 2 turns for her buff to take place. Now, Leia, this one is way up in the air, guys. I don't really know. She's like, do I know all the things that she does? Have I read her kit like 7 times? Sure. You just can't. Yeah, I'm still learning stuff. And the Omicron that we have currently, or the Zeta, I mean, no, the Datacron, it just adds too much. There's too much madness going on. But as far as I can tell, I mean, her leadership is very, very strong for everyone. And then forever overpowered now. The OP is just forever our princess, and that one just kind of keeps everyone alive. Her theme is kind of just coordinating everyone to stay alive and be healthy, and then destroy your opponents by doing massive amounts of damage. But you have to survive to be able to do that, and that's kind of what Forever Our Princess does. It's kind of what leadership does. And then the rest of them, guys, you don't want to wait long for her attacks. Like they're all very important. The thing is, some of them you have to learn all of them. They're all conditional. It's like if it does something to a tank, then this. If it does something to an attacker, then this. It's all very conditional. Well, I'll get better at using Leia over time. It's a challenge though, especially because she's so good on defense currently. We're not even learning how to play her on offense, and she's so good, strong on offense. You can kind of just hit the auto button and really succeed. Drogan is the character that's kind of designed for her, and both of them look decent. I don't like, you do want those Zetas for sure. I wouldn't prioritize them overly much compared to Leia's, but I mean, one of them is going to do extra damage, and I mean, they're fine. They are good. They're maybe not quite as vital. Now, Jedi Cal, he's coming up here really soon for his unlock event, and you have to keep in mind, okay, so windmill defense, you don't have to have it. That's the one that he gives 100% turn meter to one of his Jedi friends, and that's really strong. It is just really good. You don't have to have it, though, in order for him to work. The other ones, one of them is his remove people from play ability, which is obviously super important. And the other one helps him get to the point where he gets to remove people from play way, way, way faster. So you need the first 2. You have to have those 2. If you don't do those, you're kind of screwed. The third one, I can wait. If you're going to work on Cal, though, I would suggest trying to get all 3 as quickly as you can. And then, of course, Jedi Knight Luke lead. Zeta is pretty good if you're facing Malgus. I don't even know if that's going to be a counter coming up. I think Malgus is going to start going on offense quite a bit for people. Now, for the dark side characters, Supreme Leader Kylo, he's an interesting one. You don't need quite as many Zetas, kind of. I mean, they're all really good, though. So the first one, his leadership, this is the one that gives him basically crit immunity all the time. Everyone gets advantage if they get advantage removed. If there wasn't a good reason for it, it just gets reapplied. And when they have advantage, then they can't be crit. Very, very nice one. And then Stasis Strike, that's the one that 2 turn stuns that makes it so that no one can dispel that stun. I mean, that's part of what he is, guys. I mean, if you can figure it out so that he can do his poke, so it stuns someone, and then Hux goes again, resets his cooldowns, and that lets him poke a second time. So there's 2 characters that are on 2-turn stuns that can't be dispelled. And then you can have First Order Officer hand him the turn, and he can do the swipe move. It's really nice. It's really strong. Of course, he's a little bit, I don't know, on the edge of squishy in some ways. So having the Galactic Legend, Zeta is really nice. I mean, Furious Onslaught is still really good. It's just when you target someone who has stun, you get more safe, and that's fine. And then his basic, when they're stunned, he does an extra hit. It's fine. It doesn't do anything crazy. Now the Hux unique Zeta, you need that stops turn meter from your opponent, from them getting turn meter. Really important stuff, guys. And you need that. It's vital. I would apply it before you even unlock Supreme Leader Kylo. To be honest, if you haven't applied it yet, and you want to, like, I think I would rank it as like the 3rd most important Zeta on the team, and Hux is going to work with Kylo a lot, most likely. And then for crew, the pre-taunt is really nice. Though, I mean, a lot of times he's going to be taunting anyways. With Supreme Leader Kylo, you don't have to have that one, but then his lead, you don't need, but his lead is strong enough. If you don't have great characters and great mods, his leadership Zeta is very nice for the unlock missions, I will say. And now, say the Eternal Emperor, these are all ones. So what exactly happens here to be able to make him work? I mean, there's a lot going on. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to link everyone that you link 2 people, you get deceived on people, and then as they continue to take turns, you slowly get to your ultimate and fry everyone in the face. And essentially, that's what, I mean, the basic is the thing that hands out all of the deceived. It's really nice. The leadership is one that just it deletes people because it gives him extra turn meter. It gives him the ability to I mean, it gives him stacking mastery. It does all kinds of really cool stuff. It gives his allies stacking mastery as well. All that turn meter is good for him. The basic, obviously, you get deceived on him. Galactic Legend makes him thick, which, I mean, that's basically all his modding suggests that we want to do. Sowing Discord is the one that keeps up the deceived, which is obviously really strong. And then Unravel Destiny is, and So Be It Jedi do some cool stuff. Unravel Destiny makes it so that all tanks taunt, which is nice. It really is a good ability. It's just not completely totally vital because you already have the ability to put deceived on them so they can't hit your, say, the Eternal Emperor. And it's all just an apparatus for him to get his ult is what his team is. So the not having tanks taunt, I mean, a lot of times you're going to be okay. And then, So Be It Jedi, you get to heal 50% protection on everyone, which is very nice for banners, but it's non-essential for him to be able to do what he needs to do. Now, Lord Vader, he's an interesting guy because he's able to do a lot of stuff. Hold on, is that really what his ability is called? Jedi Legacy? Let me look at that. Okay, yeah, that was wrong. Though I can't change the slide at this point. I did change the infographic, though. So here's the problem, guys. The icons are switched. Twisted Legacy is number 2. Sorry, Twisted Prophecy is number 2. So his leadership is his Empire, it's the My New Empire ability. And what that does is it just, every time a dark side ally loses a buff, then everyone gains mastery, which is really nice. And then it also lets you diminish the damage that are done by unaligned force users if you have your own unaligned force user. Twisted Prophecy is the one that doesn't let people get turn meter if they have a damage over time, which is a very important thing for him because there's a ton of teams that probably could counter him fairly easily if they don't have the damage over time debuffs to worry about, because he's so fast. He applies it automatically to so many different people. Really strong. Obviously Galactic Legend, because he is a very tanky character. And then, I mean, Dark Harbinger and Unshackled Emotions are also quite amazing. In fact, they let him do extra damage, though. Hopefully you can ramp your damage, or hopefully you can have other characters on your team do some damage. He's kind of that guy who just ramps his own damage over time, and so those are really vital if you want to be successful with him for a long time. And then his basic, he'll do more damage, like he'll hit more times if he's got his Zeta, but it's not that important. Now Maul has 3 Zetas, 2 of them very important, just to be able to increase cooldowns on different people, and then also doing something else that's important. Alright, and then the other one is if he has 3 stacks of Anguish, which is what he starts with, it protects him from being stunned or ability blocked, which he starts in stealth anyways, but having that protection is just a very nice ability because you really rely on Maul being able to go first, and if he is debuffed with one of those things, then it's just already out of luck. Now Royal Guard is also one that heals the whole team passively. If you're going to have a Lord Vader team, you're gonna need the Royal Guard Zeta. It is crazy strong. You really need all 2 of them on Maul. One of them, the one that does an AoE, and if it kills someone, then he gets full stacks. It's nice. I wouldn't even say it's like amazing though, to be honest. I mean, get it if you have the Zetas, but those other ones probably all take priority over that. Now, Jabba's a tricky one because what does he do? He just sits there and let like his opponent die, essentially. So his leadership is how you get your contract, which is going to make the rest of your bounty hunter team, because they're mostly bounty hunters, be able to function and be able to really apply a lot of those thermal detonators. The Crumb's Revenge is his thermal detonator throw, which gives him, the Zeta gives him the ability to gives them undispellable ability block, which is really nice. So you can put that on tanks, and then you also get a ramping number of thermals being able to be tossed as he builds his ultimate, which is also really good. I use this strategy a ton, like the Smuggler's Run 2 event. I don't even pop his ult for the most part. I just sit there and throw 6 thermal detonators on every single character every couple turns. It's very, very strong. And then, you know, the Illustrious and his basic, I mean, they're giving him the ability to, you know, just operate as necessary, not quite as important as all of these other things, but you know, just his hold on, let me just make sure I'm being specific about this guy. Right, okay, so the Illustrious is the one that, as your opponents gain turn meter, you gain turn meter, and it's a very difficult thing to notice. I've never once been like, man, I really like the Zeta that I applied. It's just, it kind of just helps you match and keep up with whatever team you're facing. And then his basic gives days. It builds his ultimate meter. It's very strong. And then Crime Lord is nice for sure. You don't want to wait, like, so we don't even have one that says we can put it off, because all of them are really strong. And then you need Boosh. You have to get Boosh and her Zeta, guys, because that thing is just crazy strong. It stops people from being able to attack at a turn. Really good. And then Chrysantin, it's okay. You don't have to apply it until you want his Omicron, so you kind of need that Zeta. And that's it, guys. Apparently, that's it for all the Galactic Legends, all the Zetas, all the different characters. What do you think? Let me know what your thoughts are. Are there any that we need to switch around? Would love to hear from you, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.